It's Tuesday, January 29, 2019, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. Prime Minister Mia Mottley's recent appointment of former Commissioner of Police Darwin Dottin as a crime consultant to the current Commissioner, Tyrone Griffith, has come under serious attack from ex-Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite. Mottley told a press conference last Friday that Dottin was being brought back to the Royal Barbados Police Force to lend his skills to help fight crime. But the former Attorney General says he can't support the appointment because it puts the current police commissioner and his senior officers in a bad light. He warns that the move will undermine the confidence which the rank and file and the ordinary man in the street have in the commissioner. Brathwaite also blasted suggestions that the police force was starved of resources during his watch, resulting in the current state of crime in the country.
Certainly as Attorney General and certainly as an administration, we didn't put our hands up in the air and say that we cannot do anything to arrest the issue of gun violence in this country. We identified what was required. Indeed, let me say that we did more training. We did a significant amount of training over the last couple of years. And in particular, since the present Commissioner of Police became Commissioner, we probably did more training with our international partners since he being Commissioner than the 3 or 4 years previous to that.
And United Progressive Party leader Lynette Eastman is also calling for answers. She says government needs to clarify the role of former commissioners, as it could be interpreted as questioning the competence of the current top cop.
I don't have any idea what former police commissioner Dottin's role is meant to be. I don't think that was outlined, but I have had no reason to believe that our current commissioner isn't up to the task. The police force itself needs additional resources, as do many of the other institutions in Barbados. In terms of their crime detection, in terms of their gathering of evidence, in terms of their maintenance of evidence, I'm sure that they could use more resources in those areas. I don't know if the former commissioner is, I don't know, maybe he's going to do research to see how we can improve the current force. It could be that, I don't know.
Government is looking at moving utility cables on the ground and negotiating reduced insurance plans for homeowners. The measures are among several which Minister in the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Investment, Marcia Cattle, says are being considered to assist the country in dealing with climate change and natural disasters.
The identification of potential opportunities for IDB Invest and the Barbados private sectors to work together on climate resilience and clean energy investments. It is essential, for instance, that the flow of national income can resume quickly after a natural disaster. And this will require our major economic sectors to have disaster resilience plans and to have greater overall resiliency. 3, a commitment to work towards accessing the IDB's contingent credit facility for natural disasters before the start of the next hurricane season. 4, a commitment from the IDB to work with Barbados to explore options for reducing the cost of insurance for households and for businesses. The people who are on the front lines of this climate fight are the ones who are least able to finance their own resilience.
Minister Cattle was addressing a resilience, urban rehabilitation and sustainability roundtable yesterday, hosted by the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB. Enough is enough. Barbados' newly installed Bishop Michael Maxwell says the Anglican Church is going in a new direction. In his first sermon following his enthronement as the Anglican Church's 14th bishop, he touched on a number of issues, including last year's contentious battle for the post that he now holds. He told the packed Cathedral Church of St. Michael and All Saints last evening that the issue was now in the past and it was time for the church to humble itself unto God and unite.
The Spirit is saying to us, no more lukewarm church. Enough is enough. No more going through the motions. No more simply a head thing. It's time to wake up and apply his words to our hearts. And so God has broken us to awaken us. No more doing church. It's time to be church. No more binding ourselves to traditional rituals that don't speak to us as a Caribbean people. It's time to contextual worship and enable our people to put their hearts into worship.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
In news from our regional neighbors now, a team of women from Antigua and Barbuda yesterday afternoon rode into the history books. Team Antigua Island Girls is the first all-black team of women to row across the Atlantic Ocean, completing the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Row Challenge. We get the details in this ABS television report.
It is the moment seen all around the world. 4 Antiguan women rowing into the history books for a lifetime. The atmosphere made all the more powerful by thousands who gathered, appreciative of what Elvira Bell, Crystal Clashing, Samara Emmanuel and Kevinia Francis did. Enduring that treacherous 3,000-mile journey from La Gomera to Nelson's Dockyard, where their mind, body and soul were tested for 47 days, 8 hours and 25 minutes. While Antigua is a destination for the other teams that took part in the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge, Team Antigua was rowing for home. And what a welcome it was. There were tears of joy as family members welcomed the women who not only overcame the challenge for themselves, but for at-risk young girls who benefit from the Cottage of Hope, their chosen charity.
And on the international scene, the United States has slapped criminal charges against one of China's largest telecommunications companies. The dramatic move promises to escalate tensions on the eve of trade talks this week between the two countries. The announcement was made by Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker.
A grand jury in Seattle has returned an indictment that alleges 10 federal crimes by 2 affiliates of Telecommunications Corporation Huawei Technologies. According to the indictment, in 2012, Huawei began a concerted effort to steal information about a robot that T-Mobile used to test mobile phones. In an effort to build their own robot, Huawei's engineers allegedly violated confidentiality and non-disclosure agreements with T-Mobile by secretly taking photos of the robot, measuring it, and even stealing a piece of it. I'm also announcing today a grand jury in New York has returned an indictment alleging 13 additional crimes committed by Huawei, its CFO, its affiliate in Iran, and one of its subsidiaries here in the United States. The criminal activity alleged in this indictment goes back at least 10 years and goes all the way to the top of the company.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook and sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Have a good day.